Hey team, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to reverse engineer the table valued function. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's start part 5, table valued functions. Before we dive deep in all the sys views that we need to look at, let's go look at a function. Create function and then function name. This top section is for our input parameters. And the second set is our results. Notice here when I say returns at table, well, this is our variable name and table is the return data type. So let's call this input and this is the output. When we are going to reverse engineer a table valued function, that is our goal. We want to get the input parameters and we want to get the output. The output is going to look like a table. And that can go to a data grid, can go to a drop-down combo, can go to all kinds of resources. We're going to do this. Let's do it one step at a time. Now you understand what the goal of reverse engineering a function is to get that input and output. Let's dive in. So use objects is the database that we're going to use. And then let's see what's available at like a 20-foot level. So notice here 7, TF. That's table value functions. There are 2 of them. Let's see what they are. Notice we just looked at FN, customer get. We saw that one. There's just one other one. But let's dive into number 2 here, FN, customer get. You can remember the object ID and how important that is. Let's put that up in our clipboard. At the highest levels, I can say select all of these fields from sys.objects and schema and show it to you the results. But I'd like to point out 2 things. Notice I say a.schema ID, that's 1. And then I say, show me the schema name of a.schema, and I'm saying that's schema name. But notice here I did a join on sys.schemas, and then I went through B. Notice I did an alias of B, and I said b.name is the schema name. Notice they're the same. I'm just showing you how to do it 2 different ways. Now that I have the object ID, the appropriate object ID, we're actually going to go through the function and we're going to go get these 2 names and the data types. Let's see how I did it. Here you can see we use sys.parameters. This is the view. And if you're not sure where these sys views are from, let's go find them. Here you can see in the database called master views. Notice they got the information schema and all of the sys. You know, down here somewhere you can find these sys.parameters. You know, it's in here somewhere, right? Right here. That's where it's at. And these are the columns that are returned by using this view. Now you've seen where sys.parameters is from. These are the columns that I'm going to need. Notice that we start with object ID. That's the object for FN customer get. And then here's the ordinal position of each of the parameters. Notice we had 2 parameters, the country code and the cus type. Notice each of them begin with the @ symbol. Their data type, max length, precision, and scale. That's what we need. Those are the input parameters. We've got them now. Now we need to work on the output, the results. I just used the view sys.allColumns for object ID 8535, and guess what? It returned me all the columns from the output of our function. Notice our function FN customer get returns 5 columns. When we used sys.allColumns, we got our 5 column names. And notice it gives us the number, it gives us the system type, the user defined type, the max length, precision, and scale, and a bunch of other fields. When we are writing code generators, we just need to figure out which of these columns we need to use and then use them appropriately. Our next view, sys.columns, notice that when we execute this, we get both the output and the input. If you come over to the column called number and call order and call ID, notice that they group it for us. So this is the ordinal position of each column that is in the output, and 1 and 2 for the input parameters, and call order is the order is actually defined in the function. And once again, a bunch of columns, we just have to pick the ones that we need to make our code generator work appropriately. I know this is a video about using the views sys.objects and such, but I cannot pass up using information schema.routines. Notice it clearly gives me my output fields. We have our 5 outputs, the ordinal position, the data type, and sizes. This right here is a core table. I use this all the time. I just had to share that with you. Now, this is another golden nugget. Sometimes when I want to see information schema.routine or any other view, sometimes I like to see the underlying SQL statement. So all you have to do is say object definition, get the object ID of that view, and it will show you the SQL. Now I have a video where I reverse engineered one of these, and guess what? I just can't go to a beautifier and beautify these select statements. They're so complicated. So I had to do it by hand. In that video, I did it by hand and I put it in the comments. So if you want to go take a look at that, I've done that for you. So the function I use to reverse engineer a table value function is what we see starting at line 100 to 126. It all goes back to that sys.objects view. Notice I'm using that 8535. And then from the object, I go get the columns. And then because column has not only user-defined data types, it also has system. So I like to have both of them. Because when a user creates their own data types, I want to be smart about that. So here is a list of all the fields that I need. Let's see what that output looks like. And there we have it. The goal is I just need this column names and data types, and I can start doing a whole lot of work. And there you go, team. We have finished with the table valued function. Hope you enjoyed this video. And there you have it, team. Part 5 all done. The table value function. Table value function is used everywhere. Now guess what? When we're writing our code generator, we're going to be using this. It's going to be great for doing search bars, data grids, drop-down combos, all kinds of great things. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Appreciate your support for my channel. And guess what? I'll see you back in my next video. Have a great week.